Good morning, fellers and ladies, whomever might be watching. It's actually probably not morning by the time you're seeing this, unless I put it a little delay. It is morning now. It's 10 after 8, although my clock in the car is still an hour behind. Do they do this in Canada or anywhere else? Shift the entire country's schedule by an hour twice a year? Fuck, that's stupid. Yeah, morning after daylight savings. Well, maybe not so much the morning after. Yeah, so I'm foregoing the camera this morning. I guess I should explain that on the drive. I am recording this on my drive, but I'm foregoing the car cam. And when I made that decision, it was still dark outside, so it was actually much earlier. And that kind of fed into the decision. Now there's plenty of light, but I also figured if I don't do the car cam, if I don't set up the cam and I record the audio only, that might force me to actually do the screen capture at the office with some artwork. So I'm kind of like setting myself up. I'm going to force myself to do that. Otherwise, I've got all of this audio that's not going to go anywhere, and it's completely useless. Unless I just say skip it and just start doing the Horbitcast again. That might be interesting. No, it wouldn't. It would be a good way. No. Bad idea. Bad idea. Vetoed. It's not a bad idea. It's just not right for what I'm doing here. Or maybe it is. I don't fucking know anymore. Why? Shit. Oh, this is not getting off to a good start this week. Actually, it is the best case, worst case scenario. The bad employee at the office. The official, well, it's not official yet. It was overheard, him turning in his notice, but the boss still hasn't delivered the information. Of course, it happened Friday, at the end of the day, Friday, and everybody, I left at like 2:30 on Friday. So there was an opportunity. Wasn't an opportunity to have a staff. Well, our staff meeting is today on Monday, so we should have official word about the resignation. Unless he just doesn't. The rumor is that he gave 2 weeks, but it really wouldn't surprise me at all for him just to not show up this morning. But you still have to take into consideration any other job, and that basically means that any other job is going to, you're not going to start for 2 weeks anyhow. So why not give 2 weeks notice? Because he did get another. No doubt he has another job. So yeah, there is that. So the best case scenario is that the bad employee is leaving. Sadly, it's not through any direct action from management. It's not because it's because he's quitting instead of being fired. That's not great. But he's leaving, so that's nice. That's that's good. He wasn't a good fit for the office, and I'm glad to see him go. The bad news is that, oh fuck, this is gonna be such a deficit to make up for. We've already done this since I've been here once, and it's not pretty, this transition. And I have a pretty good idea what the boss is going to do, because the girl who used to work there, Patty, she wants her job back. I don't know if he's going to give it. I think pay is going to be an issue. Because he's going to want to bring someone on at the new starting rate, and I know that's not what she was making. She was making $14 an hour, and I'm sure he wants to bring someone on at $12 an hour. That being said, I do believe that she's going to be his first call because it's easy, and that's how he rolls. And she wants it. It's just going to be a question of whether or not she wants it for $2 less an hour, or is he going to pony up and pay her the same salary? At which point, guess what? I get pissed off because I had to work. I had to work a whole year to get up to that salary. So that would suck. But I have my perspective and I have my ways of managing that. So I'm not going to get too wrapped up over that. I think. Too obsessed over that. So yes, I'm anticipating a rough couple of weeks. I've got the TV spots in the can, pretty much. Yeah, I think so. We're good to go with TV and junk. What is, and actually what I'm ramping up for right now, I have some web stuff that I need to finish up. But for the most part, it's time to get a handle on the newsletters. All fucking 5 of them that need to go out by the end of the month. So I'm going to start trying to get my head around that and dealing with the newsletter company, because I still have 2 new accounts that I have to finish setting up. So yeah, that's going to be fun. And then the deficit, that's going to be the bad employee leaving, the BC. There were things that I handed off to him, like television traffic and schedules. Some of the more administrative stuff that I'm probably going to have to pick up again, which I'm not very thrilled about. What are you going to do? So yeah, that's the work situation. We had, we had the start of arena football, Orlando Predators. That was Friday night. I guess Sam enjoyed herself. She enjoys that sort of thing. You guys know me. What? Football? What? I don't know. That's the stuff with the white and black ball, right? Yeah. It was a huge night of fail. And just to give a small example of how bad it was. First of all, that consumerism, that capitalism, that the dark side of marketing that I'm not really appreciating lately. The Predators sold a place in their opening lineup. So ideally, when the players are being announced, and this is John Smith and player number 32 and blah 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 blah, they sold a spot in that lineup for advertisers. So we drove a Hyundai Veloster, that quirky little 3-door roadster. That was part of the player lineup, but there is a strike happening, and it was last-minute decisions. Well, I don't know if that was the actual reason, although that was a big contributor to the night. All the players were striking, so everybody that actually played in the game were told they were playing that night, and they all sucked. And I don't pay any attention to football, and I don't know how the game is played, and I could still tell that everybody was playing like shit. Anyway, essentially the whole opening lineup was thrown out. None of the players were introduced because nobody knows who any of the players are. So why bother introducing them? They're a bunch of nobodies. Plus, how do you give any more credence to the strike by actually announcing to the audience that these are not the players you came to see. Although that was pretty evident anyhow. But I believe part of the reason, the main theme here was that the entire opening lineup was scrapped. So when we drove the car out onto the field, even though they had a script that I wrote for them, they said, "And now the Kia Veloster." And for those of you who have not been paying very close attention, it's a Hyundai Veloster! And yes, they called it a Kia Veloster. Yes, it's on video. Yes, that is a shining example of how shitty that night was. It was fine for me and Sam just as something to do, but as far as our sponsorship, the work sponsorship of the Orlando Predators, it was embarrassing how awful they performed. The Predators as an organization, not the team, although the team itself played like shit as well. So, I don't know why you care, but I'm telling you anyhow. Oh, man. It was horrible. So anyway, on a more pleasant note, we've got 8 full pages of Bork 9 done in the can. Certainly in the home stretch right now. These, let's see, I'm trying to figure this out in my head as I'm speaking. I think I'm throwing out one page. I'm pretty sure I'm throwing out one page because I just don't like how it's shaped up so far. But fortunately, I'm not. All I've done is the outline on it, so I'm not, and the outline isn't even done yet. So that's how uninvested I am in the page. So I've got one page that's going to be super, super simple to do because it's Bork in the field after the fight, and it's just him in an open field. So that one's going to be pretty easy to finish. I did the outline to that last night. And then I have 1, 2, 3 other full pages left. And one of those, so 4 pages total, 3 that are going to be a little bit of a haul. Because one is that hero shot of the Explorers of the Unknown, and sweet baby Jesus, that's just rough. Because part of it is that I have, the Explorers of the Unknown at this point in the timeline drive an RV. You have this tricked out black and green RV. That's the new Explorer. And the shot is the 3 of them standing in front in their hero poses, standing in front of the RV. Hello, we've come to save the day. And, so I've got the characters mostly done. I think I did the outlines to all 3 of them last night. And I'm just going, oh, fuck, I don't know how to draw this RV in the background. So I think I need to, Google a little bit and try to dig up a picture that's usable or something. Yeah. But it's coming along really good, and, one of my favorite shots so far is the trash dump. The trash dump, and then Bork and Timmy being chased by the MTM. The trash dump I did, and I was just like, I pulled Sam over and I said, "What do you think? What color should the trash dump be?" And I had originally painted it almost. I don't even remember what. I think it was kind of like a dark greenish or something, or gray. I didn't want it to be gray because that's too monochrome. What I ended up doing is I've just played with the hue, the colorize, the hue. I played with the hue and just kept spinning the dial, and it kind of just serendipitously landed in a weird dark purple color, and I was like, hey, that's perfect. There's this beautiful eerie contrast in the in the picture. It just, I really, really like it. It came out pretty good. The trees have been, the trees in the forest have been a beast in and of itself. It's a really, it's been a lot of, it's been a really interesting process, a really interesting project, figuring out how to do all of this. And yeah, I'm definitely in the home stretch now. Excited to get it done. I've been thinking, of course, about the next project. What am I going to do next? Because looking at this, I posted this on Facebook. I was like, as soon as I finish Bork, I'm going to have the biggest case of creative postpartum ever. It's going to be horrible because I've invested so much, and I'm literally working on this several hours a day, and it's become this huge part. The art has become this huge part of my everyday life, and once it stops, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Oh, I already get depressed when I finish projects, so this is gonna be, I expect this is going to be a huge, huge case of depression. So I have been thinking about the next one, and I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna do. And when I say next one, next book in general, not turning Bork 9 into, not doing a sequel to Bork 9. Although I do leave that. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it. This is it. This is all I'm gonna do for Bork 9. So I've talked a long time ago, this one idea that I had. It's called the Zeta Project. I want to do the root of this is Green Lantern. It really is, because I love, and I'm kind of basing this off the movie because I don't read the comics, and sure, if it's all been done in the comics, then fine. I really don't care. The premise of the movie, a brilliantly untouched premise of the movie, was that it's, the ring is powered by your imagination, and the more fertile your imagination, the more powerful you are. And I really connect with that premise, and that I think it's a powerful concept. So I wanted to recreate that idea in some form, and that's a little bit what the Zeta Project is supposed to be. But I also want it to be very grounded. When I was originally kind of noodling with the idea, what happened was that it went very, very sci-fi. It was set super far in the future, blah, 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 blah. But I want it to be much more grounded, and I think that, that's probably one of the keys in writing this children's fiction, is that it has to be, relatable on certain levels. So I can have it eventually go super sci-fi, but it has to start somewhere very relatable. So that's been, I started kind of noodling with that yesterday, and we'll see if it goes anywhere. I'm at the office. You guys will hear this later, if at all. Stay creative, creators.